online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh my god.
Best guitar solo, in my opinion, of all time. And I'm really, really, really bad at air guitar. I'm horrible at air guitar. We are here talking about Supernatural, Season 11, Episode 8, Just My Imagination. There was an amazing guitar solo, air guitar, from Weems, one of the imaginary friends in our fabulous Supernatural episode today. Alexis, favorite guitar solo of all time?
Oh, jeez. Oh, you put me on the spot.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to remember.
Mine is this in November Rain, slash in November Rain, favorite guitarist. I'm also wearing my brother's band's t-shirt
Shirts?
today because he's.
I was trying to figure out which shirt that was. I was like, I love
They're called
this.
the Hussy. They're an amazing band. They've toured all over the world. They've the last tour was in Australia. They're like amazing.
Oh,
If you guys
wow.
want to hear some amazing garage punk pop music, they're fantastic. The Hussy,
Do
my
they
brother's
have
band.
guitar solos?
He does do guitar. My brother plays the guitar and he's self-taught,
Nice.
so he's rocking on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Um,
I was just going to say, the first thing that came to my head was Tenacious D solos, which they're always awesome. So.
and Katie,
Oh, goodness.
were you gonna say something by Led Zeppelin?
Sure, I don't know. Every guitar solo ever. It's my favorite.
Okay, so you guys, we are obviously talking about Supernatural, Just My Imagination, all about the imaginary friends this episode. And we know that Katie has an imaginary friend because she had talked about this last week. Guys, my name is Lyndsey Wegner. You guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all things social media at Lyndsey Wegner, LYNDSEYWEGNER. And Katie to my left. Katie, where can they find you and your imaginary friend?
My imaginary friend, Michael. Now, you can find me on Twitter at Katie E. Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's Campbell.
And I found out that Alexis also had an imaginary friend that we
I wasn't very creative.
found out about it today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your imaginary friend and where people can find you on Twitter to talk about this?
You can find me and my imaginary friend, who's actually very still active, at atorres890, and it was Jessica Rabbit because I loved Who Framed Roger Rabbit as a kid, which I shouldn't have watched as a kid, and it explains a lot about my taste in women. We can get to that another time.
Ladies, first impressions of this episode today.
It rocked.
It was fun. It was a really fun episode, and I loved it more because I had an imaginary friend when I was little, and that's all I was thinking about while I was watching it. I was like, Michael, and thinking about things that I, did with Michael, and it was just fun to see.
Yeah, I remember actually sitting there. Since Jessica Rabbit was a singer, we would have the mic stand and sit there and sing. And I remember one time I tried to climb on the piano and sing on the piano. That didn't work out very well, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. Those are the two memories that I can actually recall, was trying to climb on my dad's or my grandpa's grand piano, and it didn't work out very well.
Yeah.
I also love this episode. I thought it was fantastic, and I am the only one without an imaginary friend. I feel a little bit alone over here, but I did see Drop Dead Fred, and I used to love, I think I called my brother Snotface for a long time because I just thought it was the most fun, cute, not necessarily mean, slightly insulting name. But let's talk about this episode, which starts in Menominee, Wisconsin. This episode basically took place all over Wisconsin, and Sam talks about Wisconsin, Milwaukee, feeling the hometown that I get to see everybody in a couple weeks. We're watching a little girl, Maddie. She's having a tea party with Sparkle. He's wearing all this furry stuff, and he's a unicorn.
Oh.
He's a man unicorn.
Manicorn.
A manicorn, according to Dean. I loved Dean this episode. And he cleans up. He's like, I'm going to clean up the tea party so that you can go to dinner with her family. And I'm kind of watching the parents sitting there waiting for her, saying, are we really supposed to just let her indulge the child in the fantasy, or
They are supposed to, I think, in some kind of a sense. But if they were supposed to go to dinner, they need to get her in the car and go to dinner. She was like, "Yeah, let's let them eat Cheerios."
I thought that was
I'm like,
really rude. I agree with you. My mom would have been like, "You better get up from this table.
You can go play with Sparkle when you get home.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta keep the
Yeah.
pace and do all the things that you're supposed to be doing, and you can't let the child rule.
No.
But I also like the
adults.
fact that the imaginary friend or Sparkle was like, "No, you go. I will stay here and I'll clean up and then we'll play when you get back."
It seemed like that was the common denominator in all the imaginary friends as we saw this episode, that they always said, no, you follow the rules and you got to go do this. Like, they can have their little jokes.
Did
but-
anybody else think that the imaginary friends were going to be evil at first?
No.
That's what I thought of. I was like, oh man, I hope that it's not like they steal stuff or something. I don't know.
I just thought maybe one rogue imaginary friend possibly, but
I hate everyone.
yeah, but they're just sweet little things. I was so sad they were getting murdered.
Oh, that whole,
So
we'll
yeah,
get to
Sparkle
that.
gets murdered.
That's
bad.
so bad.
And Maddie comes home. Amazing scream from this little girl.
She was moving
She
her
rocked
tongue and
that
everything. I was just
scream.
like, whoa, this girl's got some pipes.
Yeah. and Sparkle's dead. And so we hop on over to Sam, who gets woken up by his alarm clock, and he comes out of his room, and all of his favorite snacks are sitting on a table.
It was like marshmallow nachos.
Marshmallow nachos. Sounds like a brilliant idea. I feel like I need to try that.
Diabetes on a plate.
All of that whole table looked amazing.
Yeah. Everything.
I would eat everything and I would regret it.
Yes.
Halfway through.
And Sully shows up, which was
He's so adorable.
Sam's imaginary friend. So cute. He was in that movie, can't think of the movie with
He's been
Jay
in a-
Baruchel. He's been in a lot of movies.
He's been in a lot of
but
movies.
he always plays the comedic relief, and he's just so adorable and cute and lovable.
I love him.
Very, very lovable. And Dean doesn't initially see Sully when he comes out, but is questioning why all this food is sitting out there. And so people cannot see the imaginary friend unless the imaginary friend wants them to see themselves, which I thought was kind of cool, how they control when and where and who can see them.
Yeah.
And he reveals himself to Dean, and they find out that basically a Xana is a creature who guides and protects children till it's no longer necessary.
Which made me start thinking about my imaginary friend.
Okay.
I was like, did I need like some kind of a guidance? You know, I don't know. I had lots of friends. I was a very outspoken child. I performed. One of my friends has a videotape of me 2 years old singing her happy birthday on like a speaker. Yeah, I was very, very friendly. I was happy when I was at the grocery store. I wanted to be around people. I talked to people in the grocery store while I sat in the cart. Like, I wanted to be out and social, but I still had this imaginary friend.
I mean, I feel like it doesn't have to be someone who's obviously going through a hard time. It's just that if you have an active imagination, because I mean, she had both her parents, even though her dad's not very supportive, and she probably has a lot of good friends. It's just someone just to talk to.
Was the imaginary friend, did they hang out with you when you were in the groups of people?
I don't think so. I don't really remember, those specific moments, but my parents have told me over the years, basically his name was Michael, and I would hang out with him and watch Barney together. Like I picked out a chair with my mom. I'd sit in a yellow chair, he'd sit in a green chair, and we just talk while we were watching Barney. He would eat lunch and dinner with me. My mom would make a little plate, but not every time, she said. It was just sometimes he would come and have some food with us. And then when I would take a nap, he would take a nap, and I'd be like, say goodnight to Michael. We just had conversations a lot, and
So maybe because you had so many friends and you were so active and like when you were out and talking to people, that when you were alone you wanted to keep that going, so then he was there
that actually
to
makes a lot
comfort
of
you
sense.
when you were by yourself.
I like talking.
You like talking
There
to
you
them.
go. So it's just someone for you to listen to. I mean, mine was completely different because both my parents worked all the time, so I was usually home all the time, and my grandma was usually like knocked out on the
So you
sofa.
wanted someone.
I wanted, they put Who Framed Roger Rabbit on, and she was a singer. She was,
gorgeous.
She was gorgeous. So what we would do is that she would sing me to sleep, or she would. I think at one point, like, we'd watch TV, and I would like sit on her lap and stuff, like, because she's huge.
Yeah.
So, and we used to go like walks, and she would do my hair, and then mom's like, "What are you doing?" Because I would like have the brush like back here. So yeah, so I because I know my brothers had imaginary friends too, but it wasn't because they were lonely. It's just they just wanted to continue the fun. So
Very neat.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember playing as a little kid, and I talked to people, but I never had I knew I was talking to myself.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
talking to the person that I pictured was there. I had a huge crush on Tom Cruise. So Tom Cruise and I would play on my swing set together.
That sounds
Kevin
awesome.
Costner after I saw Robin Hood.
Yeah.
You know, like it depended, but like I would go and play with them.
Yeah.
Like
Makes
and
sense.
I'd be riding my bikes but I guess I'd, like not really an imaginary friend, but that I always had like I was talking to somebody or whatever.
Well, at least your imagination was just
yeah,
actors. That's
active.
really
We're
cool.
all
Yeah.
have active imaginations.
I mean, we are watching Supernatural.
We are. So they're going to investigate Sparkle's death. And we get a little flashback of Sam, who wants to go along with Dean. Dean calls him, and Sam wants to go along with him, but Dean, John Winchester, doesn't want him to go. And he's too young, and he's got to stay home. And so Sully's hanging out with him. And so he's not necessarily home alone. He's got Sully there,
Yeah.
which I just thought was like,
I thought it was
it
adorable.
was cute. And I knew seeing that part, I was going to cry at some point during this episode.
You cried?
Did you cry?
I cried.
Oh no!
I cried. I got a little emotional.
Oh, that's adorable.
It was just a cute okay, all right. Let's moving on. So they go to Maddie's house where they are child counselors in their Mr. Rogers sweaters, as somebody in our live chat had said earlier.
I think it was Boo who said it, and I was like, yes, I completely agree. Also, she left me a note to tell you guys that the guy who plays the trickster, Richard,
Spite.
directed this episode, which makes
yep.
so much sense.
So much sense. So
That's great.
fun. So quick. Like this episode really just moved along. Was really, really, really well directed and well written.
Which I love. I love it every time he directs something.
And I'm
like,
usually not about like having these episodes that don't really add anything to the story, but they found little ways to add it in.
Yeah.
But it was so good and so funny. And then Dean saying it was a manicorn, and I literally laughed out loud. Everything about it was a really, really good. This is probably one of my favorite episodes of the
I
season.
love these types of episodes because they just get so creative. We've seen so many cool things and storylines throughout, every single season. I love these little stories.
Yeah, I mean that's why the trickster, in past seasons were always my favorite episodes because they're just so outrageous, but you're entertained, you cry, like it's a whole thing, and then we get back into the really like hard stuff.
Yes.
So
Sully, they get upstairs to the room and they don't see anything, and so Sully goes, I'm going to show you what we see, and it is like a death scene in some horrible horror movie.
that was.
Except the most beautiful death scene I've ever seen.
She was so excited about the
Sparkles.
sparkle blood. I was
Glitter
like,
everywhere.
or glitter blood. I'm sorry. Yes, I was just like, ha.
I mean,
No.
the guys' faces when the mom walked in and stepped in it.
I can't.
And then put her hand in it.
it's
and
on
then
her
when her
face.
face.
It's on her face. Sam, it's on her face.
Was just, I mean, their faces just pure horror and shock.
I
It was
didn't know what to
so
do.
Funny.
I was sitting there like, do I laugh? Do I puke?
I was laughing.
I mean, I was laughing, but I was just kind of like in disbelief because I was just like, no, get it off your face. It felt so bad.
And I loved Sully's quote, even when he's dead, Sparkle can't stop shining. So,
See, they're good little they're good little imaginary friends. They don't deserve this.
no, I can't even handle it.
I can't
It's
believe
so
that,
cute.
like she's like sawed off his his horn. I was like, come on, a little far here.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Crazy with this.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So then we see Zoe, flash forward to Zoe, who is swimming in a little pool
Oh my god.
with a gorgeous mermaid.
Guys.
Man, the imagination of these children. A sparkly uniform, or unicorn, as your imaginary friend. A mermaid?
And and you guys have a pool, so she practically lives there,
The
and she's having a
coolest-
great time.
Yeah, you're gonna go swimming and hang out with the mermaid.
These are the coolest
Nikki.
imaginary
Nikki
friends
the
ever.
mermaid.
Seriously, so cool. I wish I had one.
It's so
Maybe I will now.
You can technically become a mermaid if you wanted to.
I could, but I just want an imaginary friend.
My
mermaid.
roommate
Oh.
makes tails. For
Really?
A living.
I
And she
really
actually
wanna
goes-
wear one. That's
she
exactly
goes,
what
she
I
goes
said.
to birthday parties. She gets dressed up.
yeah.
That's what she does. She just hangs out in the pool, and all the kids run out, and she's like, "Hi guys," and I'm like, "What?"
That's really cool.
It's great.
So neat. So neat. So they she's got to go to gymnastics. So she's like, "You go to gymnastics. We'll play after." And
So sweet.
she gets stabbed.
Like psycho
Yeah.
like status. It was like over and over.
I love though that Sully was like, "It's a bloodbath."
I was like, okay, all right, stop being punny, but also this is ridiculous. Also,
That was a great pun.
Well, and Sully
Yeah.
said she also didn't check in last night. So obviously they do kind of check in
it's
to
like
some. It's like a telepathic thing they were saying that they all kind of check in with each other and make sure everybody's okay. I mean, who knows? There could be hundreds of other imaginary friends out there. These may just be the ones that are located
probably
in
a whole bunch
Wisconsin.
of them.
I started thinking about too. I was like, was it because, is it because I was talkative and I just wanted to continue the fun? Or is this like an actual imaginary friend that moved on to other kids after me? Or like, how many are there?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. Yeah, no, I was like,
Well, and how does one become an imaginary friend? Like, do they die at that age and then they just stay that age forever? Or is it what someone dreams up in their imagination they want their imaginary friend to be? So it's like a little calling card, like, okay, this person wants a unicorn, or this person wants a mermaid, or this person wants like a normal boy. Or
it looked like Sully stays in the same outfit because both Sam and Reese both recognize them. So I mean, maybe he changed like a few things, but like I feel like for Nikki, maybe she's just a normal blonde woman, and then she just changes as time progresses to each kid. Maybe that's what I was thinking. Same thing with
but then maybe there's a lot of kids that want mermaids as their imaginary friends.
so then maybe that's just what she does.
Yeah,
That would also be
mermaid.
interesting.
She's just the mermaid friend.
It just reminded me a lot of like Monsters Inc. and how it's like an actual business and how they're like, oh, she didn't check in last night. I gotta make sure that she's okay and stuff. I'm like, oh, it's like a a little business. She's so cute.
Boo is so cute.
Also, sorry, one more thing. Brendan brought up in the chat that when Sully told Dean to pull up, I literally lost it because Dean was just digging himself a hole and he was like, pull up, Dean, pull up, you're dying. I thought that was great. Sorry, we can continue. I just thought it was hysterical.
So they buried the mermaid, and we see another flashback to Sam and Sully, and they're like best friends. He's encouraging him to be what he wants to be. If he wants to go to school, he should go to school.
They're playing the ever think game.
Yeah. They keep things positive, and as he's talking to Sam and everything later on in the episode, we see him saying he needs to be calm for Sam. He needs to not let Sam see him scared. So he's still protecting Sam, even all these years later.
It's their job.
Yeah, I love that he's like, I keep tabs on all my kids, and I'm like, I hope I don't know if she's actually doing that, but that'd be nice.
Does Michael check in?
Yeah.
What an
Just keep an
amazing
eye out.
relationship, though.
I like that he was also kind of not like the reason, but he was kind of the driving thought train to get Sam maybe thinking about going to school, since technically he went to college. So I was like,
That was on Sully.
I think he was kind of encouraging him to stay away from the business in a sense because he wanted him to be safe.
Yeah, he was just trying to be caring, and I liked that about it. But I knew that anytime when Sam or Dean decide to like stray from the path of hunting, never works. Gotta come back to that.
Always comes back to it. So then we get Fletcher, who he's walking outside with Weems, and they're gonna dry his sheets since he wet the bed. And this way, Mommy doesn't know. Mommy was drinking too much juice. She was
Too much mommy juice.
too much mommy juice, which I thought was.
I was like, hey, I remember telling that.
Way to describe it.
Yeah, my mom still does that. Half a bottle a night.
And so as he's hanging the sheets, he gets stabbed, but it doesn't kill him. It hits his fat, and he sees a girl run off and get into this VW bug. So he's calling for Sully, and we find out that Weems is not dead. He's trying to hide, and the boys show up with Sully and realize, okay, he's not dead. He's gonna live. He's gonna survive. And Dean is questioning why on earth anyone would.
Yeah, because he's like a mullet and he's got like acid wash jeans.
Thing?
Yeah.
Like, what's the deal with you?
I do.
And what does he do?
Air guitar, and I love it because like Dean's like, I do air guitar. Sam does air guitar.
We all do air guitar.
And then my favorite scene, just like I love it so much. He just busted out that great guitar solo, and I was just like,
Do any of you guys know what that guitar solo is actually from?
please somebody tell us.
Somebody let us know. I was trying to figure out if it was Led Zeppelin or something that what Wayne plays in Wayne's World.
Was that the same
It
one?
sounded similar, but I could be wrong.
I need to watch Wayne's World again. That's such a great movie. Sorry, I'm
Great movie.
distracted.
So plays amazing air guitar, and Weems mentions to Sam that he broke Sully's heart.
I mean, that whole scene, I teared up a little bit.
teared up?
Teared up a little bit during that scene because I mean, I didn't do that to my imaginary friend. I kind of just grew out of it, but just it's such a Sam, like a Winchester fashion of just like, I don't need you, I'm gonna go hunt monsters, this is what I'm supposed to do. And he's like, but I was just trying to help.
They were gonna run away together.
I know. It made me so sad.
The little stick with
the little like,
That's great.
I tried that one time. Doesn't fit all of the things you need.
You tried to run away?
I tried to run away with a stick and a bandana, and I was only able to fit my Little Mermaid swim-along Barbie doll, and maybe like a flashlight, like a really tiny one.
I would run away and hide in our treehouse or hide in a tree. I'd go up and sit in a tree for a couple hours and then
smart.
Be like, well, I need to eat.
Gotta go back.
So I guess I have to go back home.
I tried to walk away with a bag too, walked down the street and went right back.
Yep, I did the same thing. I got out the door. I got to my neighbor, Mrs. Edelstein or Emma Steen or something, and she was like, where are you going, sweetie? And I was like, I'm running away. And she's like, food? I'm like, sure. And then I ended up falling asleep and my parents picked me up. Love you, Mom.
All of us tried to run away.
It didn't work out.
No, it didn't really work. So yeah, Sam gets a call from Dad to go to Milwaukee, and so he's gonna leave, and it leaves Sully brokenhearted. And Sam admits that, you know, he was a kid at the time. He didn't realize what he was doing. He didn't know.
I like that he apologized.
I like that he apologized too. I think that was important.
I was waiting for that moment.
Yeah, and then I was like, well,
when he called him a pretend friend and that he didn't really exist and he wished that he could unmake him
that's
up.
When I was just like, oh, no, ow,
He didn't
ow,
realize
ow,
what
ow,
he was
ow.
saying. He was too
He
young.
was a kid. Kids say really terrible things and they don't mean it until later.
And Sam does compliment Sully, saying he really helps the kids, and he feels bad about how he treated him. And Sully calls Sam a hero.
Yeah.
This whole scene was just so like cute and heartwarming, and says he did really good. And Sam tells him about the darkness and how God actually thinks that he can help, but he might have to go to the cage with Lucifer, and God wants him to go back, and he's not sure if he wants to. And Sully asks if he wants to go back or if he wants to run away. Sam said, I used to think that I do, but I don't think I need to anymore.
Which is interesting.
They threw in another little thing showing us how powerful and scary the darkness is when the imaginary friends are even talking about it.
Yeah, like he was saying that people have just been, that's what they're calling it, and that's what I'm hearing, and I'm just like, man, this is something on a whole different level, and I don't know what to think now.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Do you guys think that Sam should do it? Go to the cage, figure it out, or let him and Dean just run away and also figure it out their way?
There's always another way, right?
Yeah.
You just have to find it.
Yeah.
They just have to find it. I don't think it's a good idea for Sam to go in the cage, but let's talk about that when we get to our predictions.
Yes.
So we have Reese, who's actually the girl from the VW bug. She's got Dean tied up. Sam and Sully think that Dean has texted them. It's actually her. She's got him tied up to get to Sully, and we find out why she wants to get to Sully and why she's been killing these imaginary friends. Her twin sister Aubrey was playing tag with Sully, and they both knew Sully. And yeah, totally Sully, Monsters Inc.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
the whole thing with that, with Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah.
Sorry, connected that right now.
Lord mercy.
But so they were playing hide and go seek, and she ran out on the road and got hit by a car. And so Reese, trying to explain this to her family, she ran out after the imaginary friend and got hit. I mean,
it's rough.
Can you imagine how traumatic that is as a child? And Sully didn't know what to do, so he left. Instead of being there for her when she really, really needed him, he left. And so she's trying to kill everybody. And, I mean, you understand where she's coming from and why, but I love Dean coming back and saying revenge isn't going to help.
Should take his own advice. But no, I really love that story, and it really showed how, you know, I've seen like kids just kind of like run out into the street just because like there's a ball or something. Like they don't really think about it. So the fact that she had to sit there and deal with the fact that she saw this person run out with her sister and she couldn't do anything about it is just, it's so heartbreaking.
Well, I mean, you do understand where she's coming from, but this revenge is not going to make her feel better. Revenge doesn't make you feel better. It's a temporary high.
Yeah, I just felt bad.
You have to find the source of it, which is what Sully did by saying, I'm sorry. And he truly meant it and felt bad and was willing to sacrifice his life for her so that she would feel better about himself. He was once again completely doing what the imaginary friends did. They gave their lives and protected them until it wasn't necessary anymore, and he was willing to do that for her.
So do you think maybe now he's gonna go help another kid? Because he didn't
Yeah,
go.
he doesn't. He did after that whole accident. He wouldn't go back
think
into
he
the
will.
field.
I think he'll go back.
I think he should.
I think he's a great imaginary friend.
I found it a little. I mean, I guess she did get the sorry from Sully, but she was really violent and she was just killing everybody. And I'm like, they just let her go.
I know that she technically. I know that she technically she saw a bunch of shrinks when she was a child. I think she should continue to see help.
Yes.
I'm glad that Sully's going to be checking in more and helping her out with that. But yeah, I think Sam and Dean should have been like, hey, maybe you should, I don't know, turn yourself in.
Also, the whole thing about her learning about Xana and having a witch do the
A
spell.
witch.
Is it Rowena?
That's what I was thinking.
And
Gave her the knife, too.
Yeah, I think so.
Totally think it's Rowena. I actually have that written. Nice job, Katie.
Yeah.
Way to bring that up.
I think it was Rowena.
I was like, girl.
Totally. So, they hug.
And it was great.
That's when I cried.
Yeah, no, it was heart wrenching. I was like, all right, this is what's happening today. All right, here we go.
And then Sam tells Sully that he's a hero to him and how much he helped him. And they say their goodbyes. More tears.
And Dean's not such a germ after all.
Yeah.
I was like,
happy endings for all.
Bringing it all around.
he was like, what?
Freaking circle.
I feel like if Dean had an imaginary friend, it would totally be Weems.
I think so. I think it'd be Weems or I don't know.
Like a badass version of Weems.
Yeah,
Pardon
probably.
my language, guys.
Yeah. I'm thinking of gosh, why am I forgetting the guy with the mustache? Come on, Alexis.
Guy with the mustache.
The actor. He was dating Monica in.
Oh,
Friends.
yes. Richard. Dr. Richard.
Oh,
Burke,
Tom Selleck?
Thank you. I think I can see him loving Tom Selleck or Hasselhoff or something. I don't know.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saw that episode where he's like, I'm Eastwood. Clint, and I was like, ah! So great.
Nikki S says, but the witch was Romanian, right? Didn't Reese say Romanian?
Oh. And,
I missed that.
But could Rowena be traveling right now?
Ooh, maybe she was in Romania at that time.
She's definitely not around.
She is.
Who was that? Nikki, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just assumed that Rowena's gotten around, but I don't. Maybe it's a different witch that maybe we have to come across, and maybe Rowena doesn't like this witch. I don't know. We might get a giant battle between this Romanian witch and Rowena.
Yeah.
So,
well, I just thought too, it has to be somebody that wants to stir the pot a little bit, because you're obviously going with a knife. You're getting vengeance against these sweet little imaginary friends.
trying to hurt a fly.
If I was a witch, I would be like, no, you're not gonna go do that.
I don't know.
So somebody's stirring the pot. You think it could be Rowena?
It certainly could be Rowena. Well, the boys are driving.
We have this conversation
Back on the road, and Sam says they'll find another way. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm getting lots of tweets right now. Find another way. But what's the other way? What is the other way? There has to be another way out there, because there's always something else. But what is it? Will they be able to figure it out before it's too late?
I don't know. After looking at that preview for next week, it's gonna be
All right.
just literally hell on earth.
Let's get into some predictions then.
All right.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
I do agree with Boo. How is going to the police saying I murdered two imaginary friends? I don't think she would end up going to the nut house. I'm like, I feel like she should. But no, I don't know what to think of. There has to be another way, but it also looks like it's going to be crazy. Also a burning bush.
Burning bush. They ask God for the way to beat the darkness. It means Sam in the cage with Lucifer. Crowley says he gives them hope, but there might be another way. Well, Dean in the darkness kiss, and
we see
Lucifer
the darkness
says,
finally grown too.
She's grown into adult, and Lucifer says, "I'm your only hope." So that's what our little preview was.
Well, I definitely think that we've been saying for weeks now, I think there's definitely going to be a Crowley brothers team up. There has to be at this point. Mm-hmm. 1, 2. I don't know how they're going to deal with Lucifer, since obviously he is in the cage and he said he's the only hope. So I don't know if that means that Crowley and Sam are going to go in there and get him out. maybe? Or
You know,
team up together?
I'm a little nervous about Lucifer coming back, and I'm also kind of really excited. He's such an interesting character.
I love him. I think
Yeah.
I love seeing him on screen and just doing his thing. I don't know. I wouldn't mind him being out of the cage. I just don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if
It's
that's...
Mark Pellegrew, right?
Yes, I think so.
He's on Lost. Really great actor.
I'm a little scared, but I'm kind of excited to learn more about this whole storyline.
Yeah. I just want to know, what are the measurements and how far do we go to get rid of this darkness? Because she seems like she's on the path of wrath. I don't know.
I like it.
But why do they kiss?
Because they're
This is their bond.
They're a connected bond, and I'm just like, so what's happening?
I feel like there's another way. I'm hoping that, like you ladies said, I agree with you that Castiel and Crowley, everyone's going to need to work together to figure out another way, because I think they're all going to want to beat the darkness.
Team up against her.
Because as much as they all want to like create trouble for each other and make each other's jobs far more difficult, this is more powerful, it seems like, than all of them. So combining their efforts will hopefully...
What's scary about that, though, is people are going to have these, you know, ultimatums and these things that, well, if I do this for you, you're going to have to do this for me. And
There's gonna be a lot of like, you owe me one kind of thing. But
when we defeat the darkness eventually, because we will,
Yeah.
when we do that, I think we're going to have a lot more problems because of all the people that had to team up together.
chat is blowing up right now.
Yeah.
BT dubs. So everyone's saying yes, Crowley. Team up. Brendan made a good point. So he just thought that the knife that Reese got from the witch. So what if somehow Ruby is back, but as a witch? Sam and Dean got a demon killing knife from Ruby. So maybe Reese got a Xana killing knife from her. Maybe they can use that to their advantage, maybe somehow. What about Michael? Isn't he in the cage as well? So maybe he can help. Nikki, I hope Dean and Amara don't have a baby. And I'm like, yeah, let's not do that. And Boo thinks that the kiss is probably how Dean kills Amara. And I'm like, nah, I don't know about that, but it might help.
But I don't think we're going to have her die just yet.
I don't think we can have her die
It's just
yet.
It's just the mid-season finale.
Yeah.
There's no
But
way.
maybe it'll bring him some sort of power or help him see what she sees.
Or maybe a
Like
some
a
sort of
vision
weakness.
type or some sort of weakness. Yeah, there's got to be something. It's the kiss of death. So
Yeah. My prediction is that when this, whatever is happening in this episode is going to weaken her, so she has to run away, then we're not going to see her for a few episodes, maybe a little glimpse, and then most of the time she's going to be Monster of the Week until she starts getting her strength back, and then Sam and Dean figure out a different way to fully kill her.
If people team up against her too, she's got to come up with some kind of a thing, some kind of a team. Maybe we get the Grombies back.
Grombies! I miss them! Yes!
Yeah.
No, I completely agree with that. Because I feel like that was just like a little blip. I think we need more of that. So I feel like either A, she's going to get more Grombies in this episode, because it looked like she was at a church of some sort, and then maybe it didn't work out, so she's trying to make them like full-fledged, like Grombie soldiers or something.
my girl Brandy on Twitter tweeted me, and she's like, when you start to refer to everything like all zombies as Grombies, I was like, yes, I started a word.
You did
it. So fun. Predictions. I'm still thinking that this darkness thing, I want to find out the story between her and God and what broke this bond that they had as brother and sister. Want to find that out. I've got some exciting news for you guys, and it's not a prediction, but it's really exciting news. We are going to have the queen bee here herself, Rowena, is going to be here next week with us to discuss the show.
Yay!
So exciting. She's going to be in the episode, and she
awesome.
messaged me and said it's going to be a belter. And I'm not quite sure what that means. It's probably means
screaming.
it's going to be a doozy.
You're going to be screaming. You're going to be belting out your biggest scream.
It's going to be, and she's going to hopefully have 2 guests with her one from this season and one from some past seasons. I'm not going to give you guys their names. I'm going to make you sit and wait till next week. I know I'm horrible. Maybe if you guys ask really nicely, I'll tell you. Or if you ask her, we'll see.
Do you think we're not in this episode? But do you guys think God's gonna show up this season?
Yeah, but not next episode.
No. That's why I said not next episode, but the rest, like sometime in the season, maybe the finale.
A lot of people commenting on YouTube don't want to see him, and
sorry, everyone in the chat's like, "Oh my God!"
yes, a lot of people are saying on YouTube they don't want to see God. And then the more I thought about it, I would love to see God, but I'm Catholic and I'm religious. I don't want to see him. I don't want to know what he's like. I just believe that he's there.
Yeah.
So maybe we won't see him.
I'm hoping that maybe it's kind of like you have to find a vessel kind of thing. So maybe they like switch it up. If Morgan Freeman shows up, I'm good.
Yes.
I am okay with this.
Yes.
But if not, I don't have to see him. I like the fact. I mean, I think it's a little cheesy that he decided to burn up a bush. I was like, get out of here. But we all know that God can sometimes have a sense of humor. So,
Katie, would you want to see God?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 2 against, 1 for. All right, you guys. Any last thoughts about the episode before we close up the show?
No, I just can't wait to see their faces next week. I might wear my Castiel dress again just for her. So we'll see.
Yes, she's got her beautiful Castiel dress on. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah. I was really sad because I thought she was going to be here this week because I had my weeks all mixed up since I was gone for 2 weeks. I was like, I'm going to wear this. I'm going to impress.
Wear it
she's
again.
She's not here, so I'm wearing it again.
So wear it again.
Apologize.
Yes. All right, you guys. Alexis.
Chuck is gone.
Chuck is gone.
Chuck is gone. Alexis, where can people find you?
You can find me all over social media at ATorres890. If you're a fan of DC, I'm actually going to be on the DC Movie News on our other sister channel today at Popcorn Talk, so look up for that. We're going to be talking about the new Batman vs. Superman trailer that just came out yesterday, but also look at all our other channels here, Black Hollywood Live, Book Circle Online, Every Girl that should be coming up real soon, and again, my vlog at ATorres890.
And Katie.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Katie E.E. Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's Campbell. Instagram at Katie Campbell 13 and YouTube.com/Katie Campbell Online. I have a vlog and I'm going to get some new videos out soon. And my last one was a chocolate candy challenge. It was super fun. You guys should check it out.
That was my favorite video. I'm going to try it.
Did you watch it?
I did. I'm going to try it. I'm so excited.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
You guys should try it at home.
I'm going to do it.
Well, now I got to try it. This is Lyndsey here. You guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Lyndsey Wegner. That's LYNDSEYWEGNER, or my blog, lyndseyWegner.blogspot.com. Make sure if you guys want to talk to us on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those things, you're using the hashtag ABTVSupernatural so we can group everything together and find out what you guys are saying. We love chatting with you. Thank you guys for joining in the live feed. So excited for Rowena next week and her 2 special guests. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.